Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Sunday Messages. And I'm sure there are so many of you that are going to get really annoyed at this episode. And I love you no matter what. So today we are talking about patience. You know, I already did the impatience episode, and I was like, you know what? Patience actually deserves some attention. So I'm going to focus more on the affirmative side of this rather than the contrasted side, being impatience, which is an indication that you're out of alignment, as we covered in the last episode. So you might want to go listen to that one first. But just keep in mind, because I am recording these so far between each other, I might have a little bit of overlapping points. So I'm just throwing that out here now. Let's start off by addressing the elephant in the room. When it comes to patience, I think this is the number one thing for the majority of people when it comes to patience. There is a misconception when it comes to patience because it is conflated with waiting. And I want to be really clear and really explicit about this. Patience and waiting do not have the same energy at all. I'm going to show you the difference and the distinction between the two right now. Waiting is inactive. The energy behind waiting is extremely disempowered, right? It's, I'm going to sit here and wait for the 3D to shift. I'm going to depend on the 3D shifting, and then my feeling state will change, or then my actions will change. And then it's the setting yourself up for dependency on conditions, which then is going to result in some other moves that you would hypothetically make. Right? This is all being done in the mind. It's all being forecasted in the mind. So the two things that are disempowering about this energy is, one, it implies that the circumstances are what hold your power. That's not accurate. You never want to outsource your power to circumstances. It's a bad idea. It's going to fuck you up every time. It's going to make you miserable. Just don't do it. Big no. The second piece that makes this really disempowering is the idea that you're not moving, that there's stagnation, that you're waiting, you're in a holding pattern. But that's never energetically true, ever. When it comes to energy is fluid. Energy is always in motion. It is not something that just comes to a complete standstill. You can put yourself in an illusion that you're in a standstill, that nothing is moving, that energy isn't being moved around. But if you are focusing on the quantum field, a lot of things are happening. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of pieces that are clicking into place. And your alignment to the thing that you want, tuning into that frequency that is going to put you in energetic resonance to receive the thing, or receive the right action, or the meeting of the right person, or the getting of the job, or the whatever. That's not nothing. That's not waiting. That's not inactive. But when you tell yourself, I'm waiting, I'm just waiting for these things, it implies that the energetic piece isn't a factor and that it doesn't exist. So you I would suggest that you pick a camp. Like, pick one. Do you want to be in the camp of, I am outsourcing my feeling state, I'm outsourcing my power to circumstances, and therefore the experience of waiting is something that I find myself in often? Or do you actually want to get on board with the energetic piece and then know that the energetic alignment, the energetic movement, the energetic preparation is the active work that you're doing? It's not nothing. It's not inactive. It is active. And that is what actually creates a great deal of impact. So those two things cannot coexist at the same time. So you've got to fully get behind one in order to start shifting the belief system. At least it's a suggestion, it's a recommendation. You don't have to do it, but I definitely suggest ditching the idea that waiting is even a thing. For myself personally, waiting does not exist. I wait for nothing. There is no waiting. Because when it comes to the quantum field, quantum is now, 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 now. What frequency are you in? Now, 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 now. There's nothing but now. There's now, and then there's a future now. There was a past now, and then you're going to shoot 5 years into the future, and it's still going to be now. So everything has to be done energetically in the now moment. You can't get out of that. But the idea of waiting just adds more friction to your receptivity. The idea that you are stalled out, you're getting in the way of your receptivity. So if you want to work with the energy, you have to treat everything as being active in the energetic field now. And you need to get really, really deliberate with the now frequency that you're attuned to. And that is really where creation starts to get fun. Now let me contrast this with the feeling and the energy of patience. So patience is being in complete love and appreciation of now, and excited in the unfolding of your desires at the same time. The key thing about patience is that it there's no time involved. There's no waiting, there's no stagnation, there's no resistance and rejection or trying to escape the now, which is what happens when you're impatient. Impatience is, I don't like the now, I want to escape this, I'm not having a good time, I'm over this. That's impatience. So the problem is, if you're rejecting the now, well, you can't do anything energetically except with what you have in the now moment. So it's like, where are you going to go? Everywhere you go, you're in a now moment. So you have to capitalize. You have to learn how to capitalize on the now rather than rejecting the now in favor of, again, outsourcing your pleasure to circumstances. That's just a disempowered state to put yourself in. But real patience is very trusting. There's a confidence, there's a knowing, there's an allowance. Patience does not have any resistance or fear that things are not going to pan out. There's this deep conviction that everything is unfolding perfectly, everything is working out for you, and you're just in allowance, letting things roll into your experience, having fun with them, and knowing that you're going to get to the next place. You're going to get to the destination without being in a rush. So if you're in a rush, then you are in time scarcity. There's no way to be in a rush and not be in time scarcity. Because simply by being in a rush, it implies that I don't have enough time. So that won't work. Anytime you're in a rush, time shrinks. Time is something where it feels like all of a sudden it's slipping through your fingers if you're constantly rushing everywhere. And then you have this perception of lost time. Whereas if you're present, if you are in the energy of patience, time expands. You seemingly have all the time in the world and so many things you can be present with in any given moment that every moment becomes full because it expands. Your perception of it expands. The time itself seemingly expands. And so you're actually manipulating the time itself when you're in the energy of patience. The other interesting characteristic of patience as a frequency is that it's very approachable. So your desires will want you and they will find you faster if you're in patience if you're in that frequency because it's very gentle, it's very soft, it's very receptive, it's very trusting, there's this really yummy feminine energy to patience. And a really good analogy for this, like the energy difference, is imagine if you were on a first date and someone said to you, my biological clock is ticking, I need to have a kid right away. Let's cut the foreplay. I don't even care who you are. We need to get married tomorrow. Let's just elope at the courthouse. Can we plan that out right now and get together? I mean, you're obviously, if you were to interact with that, you would be scared away. That's a lot of pressure. That's a frightening amount of pressure. Whereas if you're just simply there to enjoy the experience, enjoy the meal, enjoy the date, watch the unfolding chemistry, get a feel for each other, have a good evening, that's actually something you would want to lean into more. So the same energetic quality of rushing and someone trying to bulldoze you into eloping and having a child with them immediately, those are pretty synonymous. A really good question to ask yourself if you're feeling impatient about anything, or if you're struggling with this, is, are you scaring off your date? Are you pressuring them to elope? Or are you enjoying yourself? Are you trusting? Are you having a good time? Are you in pleasure? Are you in your magnetism? That's a much better way, or a better lens for you to try on when you're trying to feel out, where am I energetically when it comes to patience and impatience. There's another piece of patience that is really, really characteristic of this frequency, is patience is void of doubt. Rushing, hurrying, and trying to pressurize something to happen now is often full of doubt, because it's not here now, so will it ever come? It's not here now, so is it going to happen? I just want to get there. I want to get to the point where I have it in the 3D so that I can absolutely guarantee that I have the thing and I won't have to worry about it anymore. Well, again, that's pressuring someone to get married. Whereas patience is already in full certainty that everything you desire is coming, that it's inevitable. So there is so much certainty behind it that it eliminates the doubt factor. And if there's nothing to doubt and nothing to fear and nothing to stress about, because there's no scarcity, there's no experience of, well, it's not here now, so when will it be here? There's no question. And when you question something, you put it into question, you put it into the ambiguous, I don't know if this will pan out. So now you're splintering off your energy, you're mucking up the energetic field of what you want by splintering off in doubt and getting wrapped up in the time factor and all of that stuff. So patience is true conviction. The last element of patience that I would like to explain is that patience is also pleasurable. So when people talk about waiting or delays, those feelings are not pleasurable. When it comes to patience, and not the kind of patience that our parents taught us, like, here, endure this car ride when you're 5, or do this miserable thing and wait for me, and now you're being patient. So of course we have the association between doing something that we don't want to do, or being bored, or whatever, and patience. But as an adult, that's not the deal. That's not what you're doing anymore. That was just something that you experienced as a child, but patience looks a lot different when you're conscious, when you're aware, when you're focusing intentionally. Patience, in the truest sense of the word, is I am enjoying the present moment so much And I am so certain of the arrival of my desires that it's not even a question or possibility of them not showing up, that I am 100% in acceptance of where I am, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm excited about everything that's rolling in, but there is no frantic rush behind it. There's no scarcity, there's no doubt, no fear, no nothing. It's the purest form of blending desire and pleasure and presence together in a singular moment. The final thing that I will leave you with for this episode is, if you're struggling with patience, my biggest recommendation is for you to find things to enjoy more. Don't even worry about your relationship with time. Don't focus on any of that stuff. What is the actual remedy for impatience? And time scarcity is pleasure. Because if you're feeling pleasure, you're not going to want to escape the now. And the only reason why you want to escape the now is because you're struggling to access pleasure. So, that is my spiel on patience. I hope this has been helpful and has helped you tune into the frequency of this more, because it is extremely helpful to have this available to you. And of course, if you would like to donate to the podcast, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, if you want to join a class, pick up a meditation, all of that is available on onyxhealing.com. And make sure you check out all of the links in the description box or the show notes wherever you're listening to this, and all of your dreams will come true. All of your prayers will be answered. Just go into the description box. You will find everything there. And of course, as always, have a fantastic week, everybody. And I will talk to you all later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.